Hey everybody, Mattsquatch here. We got part two. I'm going to have to break this up into so many parts because I don't want to just talk an hour and a half straight about equipment. And some of you might not be interested in one, but interested in the other. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and fairly simple, I'll probably combine this with some of the other equipment on here, is I want to talk about illumination or flashlights. I carry Surefires. I usually mount them on my guns. I carry handheld Surefires. This one's an older one, but an oldie buddy goodie. It's got 15 lumens and then 100 lumens. And 12 years ago when I bought it, 100 lumens was like crazy bright. But now it's like, not that impressive. So I think having a good quality flashlight, not one of the, not an old school stupid mag light, not a Target special, but a good quality flashlight. Something like a Streamlight or a Surefire or an Inforce, a good a tactical light brand. Something out there that has a warranty, a reputation. At least have one good flashlight, and if you got other cheap ones, that's fine. This is a Kelty headlamp. I have other headlamps. I just have this one out for display purposes. Headlamps really help at night, especially if you're just loading and unloading and packing and navigating a trail. And actually, with headlamps, I don't like super bright headlamps. This one's nice because it has 3 different modes. It has enough to read a map and not to trip over big stuff. A little bit brighter. The battery's almost dead on this too. But a little bit brighter, so at night you can figure out, see where you're going, maybe look 20, 30 feet ahead of you. And what I like best is the red feature. I love having red because it doesn't affect your natural night vision as much. It's not as startling as white light. Other animals don't notice it as much. It's just much easier on your eyes. It's much easier on your camera equipment, which is going to be really hard to do at night anyway. They have a hard time filming at night. So I like to look for a headlight with a red lamp in it. Surefire used to make an aviator model where the first step was these little red lights for reading a map, and then it had a white, sorry, I got adjusted here, 15 and then 100 lumens. But where that one was a red, and then the other one was the bright side was white. They've kind of gotten away from that in the tactical world, but I still really like a red light, especially having a head, like I said, just one headlight or something, just enough. If it's, you can have a little bit of moon, a little bit of stars, maybe a little bit of ambient light, but just enough to light up the path, so you're not tripping over roots and stepping in dog poop. And by the way, you guys probably noticed that. It's a fake dog poop. I always think it's funny. So, a little off subject. So that's pretty much what I think about lighting. Is you should, even if you're going to be in the day, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, bring a flashlight with you. You may encounter a cave or a hole, or some kind of some kind of a little dugout spot, or some kind of a structure, or you may be out there longer than you think. You may break a leg, something. You never know when you're going to need a flashlight, even if it's broad daylight. So I always recommend you have one in your pocket, in your backpack. Make sure the batteries are good. Carry extra batteries. Now, Surefires take those 123, those bigger batteries that are expensive. Don't buy them at CVS because they're $12 for one. Buy them online or Amazon. These, I think, take AAAs and AAs. And like I said, it's kind of nice when you have compatibility with your camera equipment. If you can just have a handful of AAs, a handful of AAAs, and just have a little Ziploc bag with some batteries in it. Because that's the kind of the crutch of all equipment. And I'll take a chance right now because I'm talking about light and low light. I hit on it a little bit before with the night vision when I was talking about cameras. GoPros don't do that well at night. You can slow down the frame rates on it, and they do a little bit better. But they just don't do that well. I know a lot of Sony Handycams and camcorders and things like that will have a night vision mode, and they do a lot better. But just your phones and your GoPros and stuff don't do that well at night. These trail cameras do. They usually have the little LEDs light up in a night mode, which is not visible to the human spectrum. A lot of animals can see it, which is why you see them looking right at the camera. But yeah, so if you want to get night vision, like I said before, I kind of got spoiled where I think the reason why I don't have night vision is I'd want to spend $1,000 and get something good, something I can mount to a helmet, or to a rifle or something that I could get really versatile, like a PVS-14. But there are some fairly decent units, you know, $400 or $500, like a monocular that you're walking out in the woods. Maybe you know the path well and you just want to throw it up and look around. Not that you're trying to walk and navigate with it. So that's what I kind of think about low light and flashlights. And let's talk about gloves. You see gloves on the table. I don't know, but when I'm out in the woods and when I'm out with the four-wheelers and you see the videos, there's a lot of videos of me at the property in the woods. I just love gloves. Your hands get cold if you're trying to hop over like a log or your old wooden fences and gates, or you're touching something you're not sure what it is. Gloves are just awesome. Just a regular old set of mechanics gloves. I know winter gloves keep your hands a little warmer, but yeah, they keep your hands warm. They protect your hands. You're less likely to contaminate something. You're less likely to contaminate yourself. You know, like like I said, you're hopping fences and crawling over logs and doing stuff. Gloves are just amazing to have. And it's one of those things where I keep them in every car. I'm a big glove guy, probably because all my years of working in maintenance. Also, if we're talking about gloves, we're going to talk a little bit about survival gear, or what I think you should bring with you. This is a ultralight waterproof medical kit, and I added stuff to it. Like I put extra tape and bandages. A lot of times, especially if I got a gun or multiple guys with guns with me, I usually bring a tourniquet with me. It's just not pictured here. This is a life straw. If you're really stuck out there, you can stick that in a puddle or something. Also Nalgene bottles. I have some regular water bottles. I typically don't bring those just because they create a lot of trash and everything. I really do appreciate Nalgene bottles. I don't have it with me, but I do have a better water filter. It's one of the professional backpacking water filter guys, and they hook usually right to a Nalgene bottle. So if you got creek, you can put it in your pump and right to an Nalgene bottle. Well, that's more backpacking equipment. Like I said, an orange. A lot of times I usually bring apples or something as bait to put in front of a camera, or if I'm hungry, I'll eat it. Normally I carry granola bars, but I didn't have a granola bar, so I had a Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart? That'd be a good cat name. Or for two cats, Pop and Tart. Anyway, I digress. So for me, survival equipment, you know, have a first aid kit, a water filter, flashlight. All this stuff's pretty small. You can get them at Walmart. You can get Home Depot. You can kind of cobble it together. Don't buy the cheapest one, but you don't need to go nuts. This is a North Face backpack. This is kind of years ago, I went to the Grand Canyon, my wife and I, and we forgot to bring a backpack. So we ended up buying one in a pro shop. And it's got like multiple little pouches, little things you can strap stuff to it. And it's a good all-around day-size pack. It's got a little bit of insulation and a little bit of stiffness to it. It's got the buckle in the front. It's got a little like rape whistle thing. And the strap down there. So it's kind of like a hybrid compromise, but it doesn't look too out of place if you're just wearing it around. It's not too militaristic. Yeah, I like it. Plus North Face is good stuff. So any kind of backpack will work as long as it's comfortable. Like your kid's book pack, like I said, the JanSport backpack, that's okay for a couple hours, but if you're going to be wearing it all day or really putting a lot of stuff in there, it does get heavy. So like I said, gloves, I would put that in there. A knife. This is a rather large knife. This is the Wild Pig Hunter. This is also in some areas where I don't want to carry or can't carry a firearm. I carry a big ass knife. Something attacks me, and I'm not talking Sasquatch. I'm talking, although better than nothing. I'm talking mountain lion. I'm talking, bear charging at me, humans. And then if I'm stuck out there, I can make a splint, a tourniquet, chop wood, make a fire with it. You can baton, which is where you put it against a log and hit something on top of it. There's a lot of good knife survival stuff out there, but having a good knife is good. A good knife is good. Great, Matt. Anyway, but I would consider that part of the survival gear. Having some kind of food, like I said, an orange or granola bar, even a couple bottles of water and a granola bar. If you're stuck out there all day, you're going a lot farther than you thought, you hurt yourself, you got a splitting headache, the first aid kit, you throw a few ibuprofen in there, maybe you got a cold you didn't think you were going to have that weekend. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, and I might as well throw into that a hat. That's my new cowboy hat, by the way. What do you guys think? Cool? It's a Stetson. I think it's called like the Gambler or something like that. Anyway, but a wide brim hat, keep the sun off you. You know, those mesh trucker hats, I love those in the summertime to keep the sun off you, although a wide brim keeps it off your neck, which is cool, you know. But in wintertime, this is a felt hat. This is a crushable cowboy hat, not like a stiff brim, so it gets crunched in the car. It's not that big a deal. So I would call that part of the survival daily gear. Also, if you got room, and like I said, you don't need to haul all this stuff with you out in the field. If you have it at your camp or in your car, or you use some of the stuff before you go out, I'm just suggestions, ideas. Like if you're going on a 20-minute, if you're at some campground or out in the woods and there's nobody around and there's like, 0.3 mile loop hike around a little lake, you don't need to bring all this crap. If you're going for a 2-mile hike, maybe you scale up, you know. So I definitely always recommend having sunblock. What I don't have on the table that I usually carry with me, because I think I left it at the property, was bug spray. I don't know how many times I've been eaten by bugs. There's literally been Bigfoot expeditions where we were intrigued, we were hiking nicely, we were going back in the woods, and we literally just gave up because we were being eaten by bugs. Also, wet wipes. Sometimes you got to do number 2 in the woods, or you know, you want to wipe the bug spray and stuff off your face, or you know, you need a little what they call like a whorehouse bath, or whatever you need. Wet wipes are good to have around. It's amazing, since I had my daughter, I'm like, oh man, wet wipes. You know, they're so great. You know, especially if you get muddy or you get sap on you or something, or just stuff that happens out in the woods. It's just really, really great to have. So, like I said, some food, you know, a granola bar, some bottles of water, first aid kit, a life straw, simple stuff if you're going to be out there all day, you know. And like I said, you can scale it up or scale it back on what you want to bring out there. So that's pretty much for the lighting, gloves, survival gear, that kind of stuff. Thank you.